good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. We are going to have a blast today. Today we are going to see some of the Edward Scissorhands filming locations. I grew up being a huge fan of Vincent Price, and for my money, actually, probably maybe the most well-rounded, perfect actor that I can think of. And this was his last movie, so it has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I just, interesting concept. I love the colors and everything that Tim Burton chooses to use for this. So if you remember in the movie, Peg Boggs is a Mary Kay consultant going around trying to sell Mary Kay products, and she ends up at the big castle that Edward lives in, finds Edward Scissorhands and brings him to her neighborhood to live in her home. So we are going to that neighborhood today. We're going to actually get to tour the Boggs home, the home that Edward moves into. The people that live there are super cool, and they were totally awesome when I contacted them about letting me come and tour it, and I'm gonna bring you all along. So should be a blast. Daze with Jordan the Lion, and the filming locations from Edward Scissorhands, at least Edward's neighborhood. It begins right now. And here's the real Edward Scissorhands neighborhood. Wow, it is so crazy to see this neighborhood all these years later. From the early 90s till now. Back when they filmed this, all of these houses were like pastel colors. It was like just your prototype of the 60s. It's so crazy to see. No pinks and greens and yellows, and I believe this was the house that the lady who thought that Edward was the devil lived in. And then the house that he gets accused of like burglarizing because, of course he was in love and he went here because she told him to. That's the house, I believe, that the cops end up coming and arresting him at this place. Because you remember when the things open, everybody's out looking for Edward, and the guy's just sitting there in his chair saying, "Did they find him yet?" So that must mean that Edward's house, or the Boggs house, was actually right here, because if you remember in the movie, there was, and it looks like it still might be there, there was a gate that they could open up because the lady who's next door that thinks Edward is the devil is yelling at him through the gate in there, and that's when Jeff comes in there and is yelling at Edward, saying that he's all bad, and tells him to leave, take off and everything. So here's the house, and Mr. Boggs, played by Alan Arkin, at that time is up on the roof rolling out the fake snow, and he sees Edward leaving through that gate when Edward walks out and goes missing. I'm excited to see this. So cool that the homeowners allow occasionally people to come out and see the house. And it looks like it's up for sale. I did not know that. So let me show you. They definitely have the vibe of the Edward Scissorhands house. But let me show you. What's cool is that the first time we see this house, actually the camera's set up right over there, and we see Peg bringing Edward to the house for the first time. And they park the car right there and go walking in right there. How about this? It's so cool to see the corner house, and look, they have all the how Edward did it in the movie. Topiary and everything. He was the master of topiary and cutting hair. They've done the same thing here. Right here on their mailbox they have Edward, you can see right there. Then they have a little figure of him on top of it too. Neat. Let's go meet the homeowners. Yeah, the first time we see Edward enter, he comes from that side. They walk right through the yard and up into there. And it still has the same knocker on the door. Is that what you call it? The Boggs. That's great. As soon as we walk in, this is what we see. The house looks much different than it does in the movie, but I really like the way it looks.
The day of closing, there was already artwork in the mail coming here.
You were ready.
So this is just from a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what we wanted to do was take all this and move it into another location and open up a cafe museum so you could go there and eat and enjoy everything there.
Yeah, you probably can't do that here with the zoning and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
so if you went to the cafe, then you would be able to sit down and eat the authentic food from the movie and be around all the memorabilia merchandise, and it would have, you know, like a snowball, just kept growing and growing and growing. Like, you know, just like a normal business.
Yeah.
And then this would have been turned into the original movie house. But that costs...
Absolutely.
I mean, we're on one income and we're both middle-aged. That's just out of the question.
I think what you've done here is amazing.
We did this on one income. We fought the whole planet to live here in this community. And in a year and a half, you can't go any further. This is as far as we could take it. And we were expecting somebody from Hollywood to, you know, run with the ball, but
yeah,
or investors, you know what I'm saying? Why not open up an original cafe that has no competition?
When you bought the house, was your plan to live here, or was your plan to turn it back into exactly the way it was for the movie?
I own a drum company, so it is absolutely normal for people to be this close to me and take pictures and look at my stuff. Yeah. Because I own it. It's the same life as my music career. So it's no big deal for you to come in here. Yeah. Especially if it makes you happy. Then then you can come in my house.
Is this your all-time favorite movie, or how did you...
No, I was the dishwasher right here. I did their dishes for them in 1990 during filming. The manager came up and asked, would you mind doing the dishes for the filming crew? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know? And 30 years later, that's how I landed the house.
Really? Did it just come up for sale and you heard about it?
Yeah, the house across the street popped up, and with 15 offers, with two boys in the Navy, and I was the dishwasher for the movie Edward Scissorhands. We put it in writing to the owner, and they turned us down.
Wow. And
then this house pops up the next day. We put the offer in on a Saturday, and on Sunday it blew up all over the world that it was for sale. So we went up with the whole planet.
In reality, you got the house you were meant to have.
Yeah, it's correct. And the thing is that I've taken it and I pulled the blinds away, and you can actually see its true value. Look at, I mean, everything's donated.
That's so cool.
It's a world. You know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite pieces of memorabilia in here? Because I mean, I'm just seeing like, you've got all kinds of stills from the filming process and things that, I mean, this is just a really amazing collection, but you have to have some favorites.
Mine would be the mushroom wallpaper or the fox.
Are those is that the original one?
Oh, absolutely.
How?
Extremely
That's
rare.
So cool.
If we let people hold it.
Wow! For people that don't recognize this, this is when Edward goes to show and tell. And you just see like all this confetti flying as he's creating something, and next thing you know, he pulls this out and he's created that. And there's the still from the movie of him doing it.
Yeah, and if you look, the crease is still there. It's in the movie, and it's in the right there.
That is so neat.
It's one of a kind, extremely rare.
How'd you get that? Donation?
Donated.
That is awesome.
This guy comes up to me on a Saturday, comes from a USF game, and he goes, drunk. And he goes, I've got a paper license plate with all their autographs. And I'm like, cool. I know what he's talking about. He goes, I'm going to bring it to you next Saturday. And he brings me that.
Wow.
And Johnny, that thing's easily $5,000.
Because you got everybody. You got probably the director. I see Winona Ryder right down here in the very bottom.
Johnny Depp. It's dated, and it has the whole cast on there.
That is really cool.
Kathy Baker.
Sometimes people are awesome, aren't they? I mean, you think that everybody's in something for money, but then you meet people like that just see what you have a passion for, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow. That took some serious work.
Yeah, and then we look at this. On the table, when Vincent's reading to Edward, he's reading the book, and the camera comes across, you'll see blue eyes on screen. He made these Tim Burton asked him to make blue eyes for the movie, even though Edward had brown. If you really get into it.
In case he wanted the option, like...
There you go.
That's so cool.
A fraction of people could understand that.
Yeah, I mean, as the inventor...
He gave Edward the option to pick and choose, and he picked the brown eyes.
That's so big because, yeah, throughout whenever, I mean, you don't see a lot of Vincent Price, but when you do, he's teaching Edward about life. And so that's so cool that you got something like that. What's this?
Those are the original photos from the castle area right here.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so people do, like your viewers are probably wondering if the castle was real. It was a real castle.
Where was it, here in Florida?
It was Daze City, which is about 40 minutes from here.
Okay.
Look at that.
Wow.
And then after filming, they pulled it down.
That's too bad. I wonder if any of it's anywhere that can be found, any recognizable pieces.
The castle is stored in Disney.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. How they create stuff like that.
And this was the prop master's husband, and these are his photos.
That's super.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now we're walking in. Look at the wallpaper he was talking about. This is amazing. And it's real. That is so cool.
Yep, this is mushroom wallpaper. This is probably the #1 most bizarre thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
I compete with the planet for a house and then put mushroom wallpaper in the kitchen. I'm telling you, it's really strange.
That is really cool. I mean, because I've been to, a lot of movie houses, and sometimes people, you go there and they're like, yeah, they don't, sometimes they don't know, they don't care. To me, it's like, you live in a movie house, that's something that should be celebrated. I mean, otherwise, go pick any one of the countless other houses out there that... I love this.
Yeah, this was...
Real authentic feel.
This was donated. We couldn't find it, and it just shows up.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Right there in the photo.
You don't realize it, but this is what took you back to the castle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And there it is right there in the very corner.
Yep.
And that photo, those scenes right there, would have actually happened right there.
Right here.
Right where we're at.
He actually cut lettuce here, and then he nicks himself. He gets in this position right here, and you'll be able to see Johnny Depp's cigarettes right here. And all this...
Oh! And you even put them there.
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll see the 2 apples. This canister is identical. And the phone.
That's so cool. Yeah, because they're making dinner, and she has him chopping the lettuce, and he chops like a whole head.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah, that's right. He cuts nicks himself.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow. Does it ever get old to you?
No, the way the world is, if it makes you happy to come in my house, you're welcome.
See, I love that. That's so cool of you.
Generation X, man. If it makes you happy, you could come in my house.
And you never know. I mean, honestly, any kind of natural disaster could happen, knock on wood, anywhere, and you just never know what happens,
Yeah.
So you got to document and appreciate things while you can. I just love this. Wow. The fact that you have all these matching photos is just amazing. See, there's Edward chopping the lettuce.
Yeah.
Now, have you figured out, I assume you have, which rooms, which one that he is laying in the water bed and all that? Have you...
Anything after the hallway was cut and went to a stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because that happens quite often,
Yeah,
but then again...
So the kitchen and the living room were legit to the movie. Backyard and anything in the front was all to the movie. But as soon as you went in the hallway, that first bedroom was Tim Burton's office. Okay. And then the middle bedroom was Johnny Depp's smoking room. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. I wondered because, that's sometimes they have specific dimensions they want or whatever. So that's why I was wondering. And just knowing that they took over this whole neighborhood to make the movie, I was kind of like, they could have filmed it in any one of the houses. Who knows?
One of the original residents said they flipped this neighborhood in 24 hours.
No, like painted it and everything.
It was completely flipped and ready in 24 hours.
Hey, that's the power of movie magic. Can we go see the backyard?
Yeah, come on.
Or anything cool along the way? I'm guessing you have all kinds. I mean, this is just, geez, look at this.
This is a pop-up, a 3D pop-up. This would have been on the counter at the movie theater. This is original to the pre-release.
Yeah, it shows the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's so neat. When he transforms the neighborhood.
Yep.
And then, yeah, like you said, it cuts right through that hallway.
Yeah. Anything after that it goes to a set. And then like the bar scene and the basement.
Right, when he gets drunk the first time.
The basement was Esmeralda's garage.
Okay.
So a lot of people always ask about the basement scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that the first time he gets hammered on lemonade.
This floor right here was in the prom picture, right here. So when he falls in love with Kim for the first time, you'll see that flooring right there. So that was in the movie.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. And then the best time to see it is in the prom picture, or as soon as he walks in, the camera switches to the door opening and you get a nice shot of that floor.
Cool. Very cool. I can't wait to see what you've done with the backyard, considering what it was in the movie.
I did this all by myself.
So it was back in that corner is where he makes the dinosaur. And the tree house would have been over here. Oh, that's cool. You even have the ladder.
Yeah. There's an Edward right there too.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool? Coming down.
Yeah, I mean this is so cool because there were bushes right here and Alan Arkin is out there, Mr. Boggs is out there pruning them, and the kids are listening to the game up here, and they put Edward to work and you just hear him going crazy in there, and he makes that dinosaur back there. Then you see that's where the lawn chair was set up when he's laying out there watching Edward do all the work.
I guess where it would start, this is right here.
Which one? Oh yeah!
Shish kebab.
Yeah!
Right here.
The shish kebab, that's right, for the barbecue.
And right here is where he got his hands washed with the hose.
That's right.
Yep.
And he tells the kid to go put oil on him.
Yeah.
Bad idea. And then right over here, I think, right? Is this where Jeff screams at him and tells him to get out of here, and he leaves through the gate?
Right there, the gate was right there. Yeah, he came down here. I think it was about where that plant is.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can see Mr. Boggs putting the snow up there, and he hears it all.
The dinosaur was in the scene, but in the back, so I'm going to say about where this plant was. Somewhere in this area.
Oh, yeah. Now, have you figured out where he was doing the first haircuts?
The haircuts are about right here.
That makes sense, because I remember you can
Right
see
here.
the...
Yeah, and we have some of the posts in there that were in those scenes.
No kidding!
Yeah. I put them up on
Wow!
the ground. When they took the fence was brand new, and then they painted it to make it look old, and then they cut. When they removed it, they just cut, and I grabbed all these. There might be more posts in the ground.
That's nuts!
I grabbed 4 of them.
And I love that you looked for him. Who would think?
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't think to. That's where Esmeralda comes in and screams
right
at
in
him.
that area, yeah.
See, I thought her house was there, but you're saying it's actually across the street. Okay, that makes sense. Wow. Man, this is so cool. I can't even imagine how many times you've seen this movie and just been like, I live there.
It's unique, I'm telling you. It's like a true, authentic, it's like you're living on set even though it was 31 years ago, you are still on set.
You ought to have like a barbecue every year of like the release of the movie or something
we
for.
do.
Oh, do you? I was gonna say that would be so cool because you really have a lot of space out here, and you're so welcoming to people. I can just imagine this would be a blast.
Like I said, the world, man, we got so many problems. You know, if it makes you happy, you're welcome to come here.
That's very cool. Now I saw for sale sign. Is the house for sale, or did you just keep it up?
Well, like I was telling you that we took it as far as we can. We're, you know, if we want to sell it to someone with money so they can take it to the next level.
Right.
You can open up a cafe. No, there'll be no competition. It's your own private collection.
Yeah.
So Disney probably can't do anything.
Do you have to get permission from Disney to use the Edward Scissorhands likeness at all, or would they?
Yes, but if you're not going to call it Edward Scissorhands Cafe, no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, call it something else.
It's your own personal collection, and it's donated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go. It's your own stuff.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Now, like you said, when you sell the house, everything will, like all the memorabilia will come with it.
It's not my stuff.
That's very cool,
that
though.
Belongs to the people.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's not my stuff.
If you, like, say you were going to keep it, is there one piece of movie memorabilia that you wish you could have got here, or wish that you could get to display?
No, because eventually it'll all be here. That's how I see it.
That would be cool.
Whoever, the owner of this house over time, is eventually this will be the hub. The cafe will be it's really one entity.
Now are you going to make that a stipulation? Because
no,
the reason I ask, because I know some people that own it's a Bonanza replica house that Lauren Green himself built for himself on a golf course, and every time the house is sold, it's a stipulation the house has to stay the way it is. Because if you're buying it, it's like, hey, it's a Bonanza house. If you want some other house, buy a different house. But if you're buying this house, it has to stay a Bonanza house.
This is the most famous house on earth, right? And if you buy this house and just to rent it out and gut the cabinets, you'll be known as a fool.
Right.
Destroying it's a multi-million dollar
You know, I'm
house.
surprised somebody like Johnny Depp hasn't,
It's
you
a
know, maybe
multi-million-dollar
having like an idea of like, hey, that'd be kind of a cool thing, you know?
You can't take a sledgehammer to those cabinets. You can't.
Yeah.
You are a fool.
I would love to come back here someday and look around this yard and see like, hey, there's part of the castle over there. There's the broken hands that Edward.
That's what I was talking about.
Stuff like that, you know.
In my other interviews, is that if you open the cafe, you could have like half Boggs house, half castle. But
yeah.
So you can get Disney to approve, you know, approve it, and then you can dress up as Edward and run around with the food and hand it, you know what I'm saying?
And I know that film companies do. I mean, Field of Dreams and places like that, the Twister, where they filmed Twister, they gave that town permission to have a museum named after Twister. They gave them props and everything because they figure, hey, it's
right.
You're keeping it alive.
It's what they do for a living, and trust me, this is going to be the hub of everything Edward Scissorhands one day. If you have something in LA, anything Edward, it's going to end up here.
That's great.
It will.
And it was so cool for you to be, you know, because any number of people that buy it, like you said, you know, anything could have happened to it if you didn't get it. It's cool that you saved it at least.
That's what I'm saying about I pulled the curtains back because...
was the house blue when you bought it? Did it resemble?
No,
that's what I wondered, because I was like, that's cool the house is still the same color, but I wondered if they had repainted it over time.
It's purple, yeah. It was a cemetery gray. It's hard to see. Similar to that gray over there, but really kind of 10, 15-year-old.
Now we're back inside, and I just realized we never showed you guys the doorway that they come in and the doorway they go out of.
This right here was a t-shirt handed by Tim Burton to the cast and crew, and then these were handed by Tim Burton to the residents of Tinsmith Circle, and you wore these to the premiere December 1990. So these are not just Edward Scissorhands t-shirts.
I'd never seen them before.
I know, I get a lot of slack for having these on the Edward Scissorhands wall in the house, but these were These are precious.
Touched by the director's hands.
Yeah. You wore those to the premiere, and this was at the premiere too. So let's say you seen the commercial, or you're a Johnny Depp fan and you went, your kids would have seen Edward here first.
Yeah.
This is Edward.
And could have taken a photo with him.
Yeah. This is what the general public first seen, other than a commercial, is this one, because this was at the premiere on Valor.
Now, I was a kid when this came out. I was probably like 10 or 11, so I didn't really follow what reviews and how much money the movie made around. How was this received when it came out by the media or by fans?
All right, this will probably make sense to you. I was the dishwasher for the movie staff, and when it came out and the commercial came on, I go, oh my gosh, that must have been the movie they filmed in Land O'Lakes. And I was the dishwasher. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't even know the name of the movie.
I was going to say, what did they call it? Because they always have a fake name.
It was just the filming or the movie. That's
okay.
They kept the names. It probably would have done worse if you knew the name.
Wow.
Yeah. It was so detailed that it kind of flopped.
It's amazing they were able to take over this neighborhood when you think about it, because you have to get so many people on board that even if one of them says, you're not doing it to my house, you're not painting my house, that could kill the whole neighborhood getting to make this movie.
I think one did give them a hard time. I don't know.
I wonder if that's the one the house is covered with the termite.
No, listen to this. This is a good story. That actually really happened. They've got a brand new house and they knocked over orange groves. So the brand new houses had to get inspected again for termites, and they did find a brand new house, block home, with termites. Wow. They tented it, right? And then the filming crew, and Tim Burton says, leave it, I like it.
So wait, was this a new community when
brand new.
Okay, I didn't know that. I was wondering about that.
Homes on Orange Grove, and they all had to get re-inspected for termites.
That's amazing.
Brand new block homes.
I almost want to find where that circle is, like the cul-de-sac where they create like the illusion that the fence and everything where the mansion is.
Right there.
Oh, is it actually in this neighborhood?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay, well, I'll go over and check that out then. Yeah. I mean, in the movie, they make it seem like it's right over there, but...
It is right over there. It is. The cul-de-sac is right there, and then if you look over the two trees, that's where the castle would have sat.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out. This is amazing, man. I love what you've done here. I hope that the next owner, and I know there has to be someone out there, because every time I go online, I feel like I'm seeing somebody post Johnny Depp stuff or Tim Burton. I mean, it's always Nightmare Before Christmas and Edward Scissorhands. I just can't imagine somebody, 40 and less saying, this is my goal. I want to take this over.
Or listen to this. Or a group of people.
Yeah.
Why not get a group of your friends together, buy the home, right? Open the cafe, and before the cafe.
Yeah, you're actually just down the street from where you could do businesses like that.
Yeah, you can open it right here, like a mile away, and then you'll have a world famous cafe before you even open the doors. And you can
just direct people over to the movie house and the movie neighborhood.
You can actually restore the house to movie quality and have the cafe. And all the stuff can go to the cafe.
Well, all I can say is we just did a pretty good promotional video for anyone that has a little bit of extra cash that would love to take something like this on. This has already got a good start for you. And I love everything that people have donated. That's just so great.
And here's the scissors that was used to trim the dinosaur. I found those right underneath where the dinosaur was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were in material tool bags. Each topiary that went on camera had a material tool bag in it. And when they removed it, I guess it fell in or they didn't grab it.
That's super
30
cool.
years later, and we found the bottle, the fencing, and the marble. The bottle's right there.
Oh, yeah, there's a marble down there.
All in the time period. Isn't that crazy?
That is super neat, man. Wow.
And there's the fencing right there. And you can see the stain. That's the stain the crew put on the wood to make it look old.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
on this fence. Now watch, see how it matches? Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That is so awesome. He also got a filming schedule, production schedule. Peg's front yard, you can see. That's patio, Marge's yard. There's the cast on there. Call times. Oh, that is so neat.
We had movie producers in here looking at that, and they were blown away because they were handwritten.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is a rarity.
Because they were young.
And there's Edward coming in the front door.
And there's the linoleum floor that's right here.
And here's that door we just showed you. Now you have an Instagram that is dedicated to this place. Do you want to talk about that?
It's basically the whole thing is done online. What we did is we took the traffic that's been going around the loop for years and years and years. We stopped it. We stacked them in line behind our social media, and then whatever trickles out comes to the house. We invite them on the property.
That's how I found you.
Yeah, for not driving the loop. So everybody's happy. The neighbors, that's what we wiped out all that traffic and people walking around and stuff.
Yeah, I was concerned because when I contacted you, I found online that it said permanently closed, and I go, oh no, did I miss my opportunity? And then, yeah, you kind of vet people to make sure that they're, okay and everything through Instagram.
Yeah, basically you get in line, and I mean, driving around is cool. You get to see the house for the first time, but it's better just to get in line because then you come on the property and get to feel Tim Burton movie house.
Yeah.
And you get all the inside scoop, but it is online, and you get to see some great night shots and
not everybody gets to travel to Florida, so right, yeah, I mean that's the best way to see it.
It's an online. It's Scissorland online. It's a shrine online.
That's very cool.
Oh, it's our Scissorland on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Are there any underscores or anything in there?
It's an underscore, but it still pops up.
Okay.
So it's our OUR Scissorland on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Excellent. I'm gonna go check out that cul-de-sac now. I gotta go see where she ended up finding Edward.
Right over there.
There's Kim. Young Kim. What do you have here?
All right, this is actual film from the TV commercial. This was pre-release.
Oh, neat. There's the dinosaurs, and there you can see Edward. Let's see if I can get a good shot right there. Yeah, Edward working on the topiary.
And then right here is the actual negative for this picture.
Oh yeah, look at that. That is an original still.
And it's on the window I'm showing you this.
Oh yeah, we're actually looking at that.
Yeah.
That's
so cool. So weird.
It's filmed right there, that scene, and then the actual picture that he has the still for, he has framed right there. There's that photo. So I always love to point out movie magic, and we're going to do the movie magic now. So here's the house, and we see Peg in her car driving off to the mansion. We see when she's much, much older, Kim telling her granddaughter about Edward and everything, and we see that image out the window of the mansion, or the castle, I guess you would say. It would have been right there, and Peg would have driven her car to that cul-de-sac. So we'll go over there and take a little bit of a look, but we would have been seeing that big hill there and the castle up there that Edward lived in with the inventor. How cool was that guy? You just wish that every person that owned a filming location house were that cool. And he knew where the cul-de-sac was. I mean, he lived right by it. So this is it. They would have had the kind of the broken down gate right there. And that's where they would have shown the police car coming. Because remember, everybody ends up turning on Edward. And actually, I'll show you before we leave, right in front of the house, that's where Edward tries to help the Boggs' son, and everybody turns on him. He ends up running up here to get away, going back to the world he knows, and the police chase him, and they make it seem like Edward's dead and tell all the townspeople that he's already dead here, so all the townspeople are congregating right here. But I'll show you, we'll go back over to the house where Edward and Kim come running out the door because Edward hears Jeff's crazy car racing through the neighborhood, and he wants to save the Boggs' son, so he runs out and kind of tackles him as the kid's crossing the road, and he accidentally is nicking the kid with his scissors, so everybody thinks, or just starts freaking out thinking that Edward's hurting the boy. I believe it's right here that Edward is holding down the kid, and then Jeff runs and attacks Edward, jumps on him there, and then the Boggs come home and see it, and they race the kid inside, and Edward takes off the way we just came from. What a cool place and what a cool day. Well, since we're going to be wrapping it up, I want to thank Beth McDermott for becoming my newest Patreon. Thank you for helping to support my channel. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. I certainly did. That guy was awesome. Go check out his Instagram, and if you're in the area, you know, maybe try and make arrangements to come visit the house. You know, he seems pretty open to letting people visit it, and just a cool guy. Thank you all for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe, please hit the like button, and please ring the bell for notifications. We will see you all next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.